If you lived at the time of the American Revolution, pages 68 to 76. What useful things were invented during the war? Benjamin Franklin could be called the grandfather of the American invention. Franklin is best known for his experiments with electricity, although most of his inventions such as the Pennsylvania fireplace, Franklin's stove, the lightning rod, and the odometer, which measures distance traveled, were created before the war. They were still used at this time. Franklin designed reading glasses with two lenses in 1783. David Bushnell made the Turtle, an early submarine looking like a large oak barrel. It moved when the propeller was turned by hand. Bushnell presented it to the Patriots as a way to put bombs on British warships. Ezra Lee made the first try, but he couldn't get the bomb to stick to the ship. Lee had to work fast. There was only enough air for 30 minutes underwater. The Turtle never worked like Bushnell hoped, but he built underwater mines that made the British Navy very nervous. George Washington felt that the most outstanding soldiers should receive some type of award. In 1782, he started giving the badge of military merit, which later became the Purple Heart. This medal is now given to all soldiers wounded in battle. What words and expressions came from life during the American Revolution? To put your name, your John Hancock, on paper means to sign your name. Why? John Hancock was the first patriot to sign the Declaration of Independence. He made his signature very large. He said he wanted to be sure the king could see it. The word cowboy was first used to name pro-British outlaws. They used cowbells to attract people and then robbed them or stole animals from farmers and sold them to the British Army. Pro-patriot outlaws were called skinners because they took all of a person's belongings so that they were left with only their bare skin. Calling a person a bigwig was an insult. While wigs were worn by many people, to wear a large hairstyle was thought to be showing off or making yourself look important. The Yankees Returned from Camp was a song sung by the British to make fun of the colonists. However, the Patriots liked the song, and they turned it into a symbol of a new country. It is still sung today, and we call it Yankee Doodle. What ended the war? After over 6 years of fighting, the British Army gave up to the American forces at 2 p.m. on October 19, 1781, at Yorktown, Virginia. General Charles Cornwallis said he was too ill to surrender personally to General Washington, and so British General Charles O'Hara surrendered to American General Benjamin Lincoln at Yorktown. The British officer presented his sword, and the American tapped it as an acceptance of surrender. The British fifes played the song, "The World Turned Upside Down." This was a good tune because life in America changed greatly after this day. News of the surrender spread throughout the states by messengers, newspapers, and broadsides. It reached Philadelphia on October 22nd and Boston on October 27th. Towns celebrated with cannon salutes, bonfires, and fireworks. People kept the lamps in their houses lit all night. Loyalists had to keep their lights on too. It took until September of 1783 for the final peace agreement to be written. The Treaty of Paris really ended the American Revolution. In the treaty, the new country was recognized and its boundaries decided. Fishing limits were set along the coast of Canada. It was also agreed that Congress would recommend to the states that they restore property to any loyalists who had not fought in the war. In most cases, the states did not do this. How did life change for the Loyalists after the war? The following verse from a song written after the victory at Yorktown shows that life for Loyalists was going to get even harder. "Now Tories all, what can ye say? Come, is not a griper, that while your hopes are danced away, 'tis you must pay the piper." After Cornwallis's defeat, many Loyalists quickly moved to England, Canada, the West Indies, or British-held East Florida. They asked the British government to pay them for their lost property. Those who did get paid received less than half of the value of what was lost. Most Loyalists did not get back the type of life they had before the war started. Slaves who had fought for the British were given their freedom. Some moved to the same countries as the Loyalists or to Sierra Leone in Africa. Some joined the British Navy. Native Americans like the Iroquois, who had helped the British, had their villages burned, lost much of their land, and were never able to return to their former way. Now, how did life change for the Patriots after the war? After a lot of celebrating, the Patriots worked to remove the memory of the British. Place names were changed. The Queen's Head Tavern in New York became Francois Taverne, again after its owner, Samuel Francois, who later became the steward of Washington's household. Hutchinson Street in Boston, named for Loyalist Governor Thomas Hutchinson, was renamed Pearl Street. Some names honored Patriot leaders. Washington College in Maryland was the first college named for George Washington. Mountains, towns, lakes, and counties were also given his name. Other colleges reopened, and college textbooks that had all come from Europe were now printed in America. Noah Webster's American Spelling Book, 1783, used American spellings and word usage. Patriotic themes were popular in writings and paintings. In 1793, A History of the Revolution was published for children. The Great Seal of the United States with the motto E pluribus unum, a Latin phrase meaning one out of many, started appearing on official papers after it was adopted in 1782. Pictures of eagles were also popular because the eagle was chosen as the national bird, although Benjamin Franklin thought the turkey was a better choice. Children were named Independence, Peace, Joy, and Thanks. Being a new, free country brought problems too, especially with money. Soldiers had been promised bonus money to stay in the army, but the government didn't have the cash. The soldiers were told that they would be paid in money or land at some time in the future. It took until 1789, when a new central government was formed, for the nation to start redeeming its promise notes. Products from England flowed into the country, but exports dropped. American merchants, shipbuilders, and fishermen could not compete with other countries when England put a tax on American goods going into England. Congress decided to form a government with a president and not a king. They looked at George Washington again. He became the first president of the United States in 1789 and guided the new nation until 1797. This is the end of this lesson.